Fuck. Ugh. Seriously, guys?
Somebody poop.
Real? Hey Google, turn the lights white. This sucks. Hey Google, turn the lights gold.
Look.
What?
I think this is where. Oh no. This is Organization 13.
My dumbass has been collecting a bunch of material thinking I'm gonna keep this when the game comes out, and I'm not.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like, what do you mean keeping materials? Like, they won't be useful later on?
They're gonna be white.
Oh.
Like all this is gonna be. This is not safe progress, because it's the beta. Yeah.
Okay.
So like I've been farming materials when I shouldn't have. I should just been focused on trying out the game.
That makes sense.
Ugh.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Damn.
Come on.
Drag queen friend of mine was arrested and like several charges. Theft of over between $750 and $2,500.
Oh my god.
Possession of over 2 ounces of marijuana. Possession of something else. I don't know what it's. Yes. A false ID.
Oh my god.
Forgery. for forgery of an ID and apparently forged cash.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Yeah. The fuck. And apparently, well, now we're going to war.
Are we?
Yeah, apparently the US bombed several nuclear plants in Iran
I did see that.
about 2-3 hours ago.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, several other countries warned the US not to interfere. North Korea, Russia, some other places, I can't remember which one. They all warned the US not to interfere.
I mean, if Russia and North Korea are disagreeing with something, it would lead me to believe that that's the correct thing to do. But I don't know.
Scary.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that was quick.
What?
Took me out in 2 hits.
Oh, hard boss fight?
Mm-hmm. I was expecting that.
Do you need to level up more or what?
Yeah. That's like you're already at level 99 fight.
Let me see.
And even then it's a challenge. Same with the Sephiroth fight. Like even at level 99, that one is insane.
Bitch, I'm trying. There's this like invisible enemy that what's it called? Just starts zooming around the screen. Hold on, babe.
It wasn't important.
Huh?
It wasn't important.
Oh. Well, it's mostly that I can't pause this game. Because this is where you have to now I'm in a boss fight. Boss fight. Boss battle. When it is a battle and fight at the same time.
Say battle.
Fuck me. Okay, what were you telling me, Vic?
There's this like invisible enemy that like zooms across the screen. I had never encountered that one before while being here. Until recently. A lot of stuff I haven't even noticed is even in this fucking game.
I like games like that.
I'm realizing, well, it's mostly me. I'm realizing how little time I actually put into exploring.
Yeah. I feel like I need better weapons and armor.
Disappeared again. But I got its stone, I guess. Guess it gives this energy stone.
Oh god. Ow.
Stealth soldier?
Oh god. Oh.
What's up, dog? Oh my god.
Nah.
You're right.
Yeah. I could test travel for those. How do you get a horse?
Somebody save me! Please, if anyone can hear me, make haste to the waterfall!
Ow. Oh, you can swim. That's cool. shit. Okay. Okay. Why does it not bring me back to where I was? Are you kidding me?
Yes, Goofy Donald, you fucking suck.
What did they do?
Worst teammates ever.
What?
Can I just take all the EXP instead of sharing it with them? It's not like they're doing shit anyways.
Babe, don't get bitter. Just get better.
Hey, but I was doing just fine. My controller died, so I was mostly taking notice to the fact that they don't help a single bit, really.
I see.
Yeah, it wasn't like I died or anything. It was just like, what the hell, man? You all can't even protect me for like 10 seconds.
What the fuck is that? Oh god. You took no damage. Nope. I'm out. Oh god. Still happening. No, it was just a prank. Please. Stop. No. Wait, start? My bullshit is, can I
Pass me the bong? Yes.
did you have the pink one somewhere?
It's right there. It's right there behind you.
Oh. Hmm. Is there like a storage or something? Nice. Sell.
Yugi, chill out, man.
What is he doing?
All I can hear is him panting, even through my earphones.
Dude, what's your deal? Huh? What's your deal? Chill out. Chill out. Chill out.
If you keep panting like that, dude, just watch how quickly we limit your food.
We still need to do that.
I mean, it'll be a lot more heavily enforced, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
We should be heavily enforcing it. I just don't know how. What? Switch to PvP
He's
mode.
gonna end up needing to get fed separately from everybody else, babe.
What did I do? No.
What?
I'm scared. What happened? Why did I actually PvP mode? Why is that a keybind? Toggle PvP mode? No. I'm buying this. What even is PvP mode? Well, I guess I just need to not press N at all.
the dogs are inside, right?
Yeah, bro. They should be. What? No. Nope, not what I meant to do. Not what I meant to do. Not what I meant to do. Let it go. No! Fuck am I? Excuse me? Bruh, why am I here? Oh, fuck you. Guys, stop eating my blanket! You little shits! I want another Mexican Coke. It was so good. I forgot what the alchemy table was. So why was
Just scoot away, Papa. Here, babe.
One second. Danti.
Yeah. Jeez, you were tipping it over so far.
Huh?
You were tipping it so far, you freaked me out.
Whoops.
But then I forget that this thing doesn't really drip water.
Unless it's like tipped through the towards the spout.
Yeah.
Can I store everything? Help.
What?
Help. I got stuck. Damn it, this is making me wish this game was out already. This game's actually kind of fun. It's making me want to jump up into another MMO.
It's making you want to jump into a what?
Into another MMO.
Oh, that's an MMORPG?
Yeah.
I see. Weren't you thinking about jumping into Black Desert?
It's exactly what I was thinking. When this is over. Might as well see what else the game has to offer. How do I get in there?
What?
His Thomas.
You can go prone. Interesting. Oh. Hello? Game. Hello. Ah!
Oh my god, you scared the shit out of me.
Whoa, that's just lovely.
What happened?
I was trying to open the chest and I'm like, why isn't it opening? What's happening? The fucking mimic. Didn't realize mimics were gonna be a thing.
As soon as I saw the name Baldur, I kind of had a feeling that that would probably be something you might deal with.
What? Spawned again. Fuck. You're joking. Oh, come on.
Oh my god, get out of the fucking way! Ugh. I fucking hate the fat heartless. They get in the way so often. Like, what the fuck?
The what?
These fat heartless?
Oh.
These fuckers.
Yeah. I just didn't understand what you said. As soon as you said fat heartless, I'm like, oh, yeah. Silver. No! You're joking. How? Somebody, how? Well, I'm gonna be here a while. Mother.
What?
Mother.
What?
What? You look like you're either sleepy or sad, or both.
It's just
Yeah, it was just tearing up right now too.
I just got to thinking about it right now. Like literally just thinking about was when I was sitting on the chair and sat her on my lap and was scratching her back and she was just like losing it. And like every time I would stop, she would do that like thing, and like that's all that's replaying in my head right now. Like I just miss that little goofy face.
Not as strong as that one. There's been lots of moments where I just stop thinking about what I'm playing. And I think about mana. I get sad. Let out a couple sighs, a few tears. And then I snap out of it and go back to playing. Come on, guys. Huh? Like, you don't have your headset on.
I said, you look sad, Dad. We just want to make sure you're okay.
I'm okay, but I'm not okay. Or better say, I'm not okay. I will be okay eventually. I'm sure.
You okay, babe?
Yeah.
I'll take that as a no.
Yeah, no, it's still hitting me pretty hard.
It's normal, babe. S- Still super fresh.
Oh my god. You know that. Okay, yeah, you're not taking damage. Good right.
How much louder this game is in comparison to like literally anything else.
I'm surprised you didn't get that with Halo.
What do you mean?
I'm surprised you didn't experience that with Halo. With Halo, I had to lower it to like 30% volume because it was so loud.
No, Halo was perfectly fine. This, on the other hand, totally different story.
Okay. What? What?
What?
Ow. My lumbago.
Not your lumbago.
They got me right in the lumbago.
There we go.
Oh fuck, you scared me. kind of hungry again. Come on.
Me too, but I'm trying not to think about it. I was just gonna drink some more water right now.
Where's Fang?
Should be on the floor.
Fang. Why are you doing your fairy? Oh. Came straight right in like, ooh, but is it bedtime? Is it time for me to be in bed? Because I want to go to my spot. Can I go to my spot? I'm looking at it, yeah. And it's calling my name. Are you going to put me over there now? Are you?
I can't believe how teeny tiny she is.
Yes, I'm going.
Can you imagine if we get another tiny girl like her? Another little mini.
That would be great.
What? What, my little mini?
I want to get to my spot here. What are you saying? What are you saying?
Mother, I would also like to get down to bed, please.
What, you also want to get on the bed?
Yes.
You've been on the bed for the past 2 nights.
No.
Yes, I'm the one that put you there.
I feel like you might be imagining stuff that. Sorry. But I was down on the bed. That wasn't me. That was my father, the greatest. He looks a lot like me. He seems to have stolen my spot.
Is that so?
Yeah, he's an imposter. And that is my case, and therefore I should be on the bed. Have I convinced you for?
Not one bit, Yeshias.
Fuck. Son of a bitch. Then let me down, father. Then let me down.
No. No.
Father! Yes. Yes, I did it. Hi, Yeshayas. Hello, the father. I know Yeshayas.
What?
Nothing. My Yeshayas annoy you guys. You all are still okay. I changed my mind.
Too late. You want the bong?
Huh? What'd you say, babe?
Do you want the bong?
Oh yeah. Are you about to repack it?
Yeah.
Yeshayas, you were stepping all over everything. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down.
I just like fine of that. I like to be on the bed.
Yes, I love you too. Go lay down. Hey. Hold on, I gotta beat Cerberus. Just chill out. Guys. Cerberus. Look. It's basically like your parents. You all came from hell. My little hell blessings. Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you try get down?
Did he? No, did he leave that right here? No, that's Luigi's, the imposter.
Oh yeah, he got down. Lucius, where'd you get down?
Sorry, Father, the bed was not for me.
Okay. Lucius, you're a little weirdo.
That's fair. That's very fair, Dad. Hi, Mama. I hope pregnancy doesn't make your coat all ugly.
Why would it?
You don't remember Peach like losing a lot of hair and Minna losing a lot of hair after their pregnancies?
Can't really recall.
They lost a lot of hair.
Well, we should give
And
her plenty of salmon oil.
And it grew back, don't get me wrong, but yeah.
What was happening with the lighting? Finally!
What were you waiting for?
I've been trying to level up to level 2 cooking.
You're so luscious. Oh, baby. Oh, my little baby.
I need a video to watch.
Baby, you need to stop jumping on and off the bed.
Welcome.
Lightning. Maybe we should put the stairs back up.
I agree.
Chapters 3 and 4 have finally been released after a 4-year-long content drought. And oh my god, my brain was literally melting on how wrong my theories were. It was also melting because the fucking knight appeared at the end of chapter 3 and started casually aura farming while curve stomping us. And after seeing this absolutely diabolical entrance, it renewed my interest in discovering the knight's true identity. And after doing a lot of research and digging, pouring through every secret scene and the game's files, I think I might just know who they are. And it's not Carol or Des, it's Rudy. Spoilers, it's Rudy. In this video, I'll be going over all the evidence for and against Carol being the knight and Des being the knight, before explaining why I think Rudy might be the knight. I'll also be presenting evidence on why the Dreamer and Holiday families are both complicit in the knight's plot, and that includes Toriel. You're not gonna wanna miss it. Now, let's get right into the video. Before we go over the many candidates for the knight's true identity, let's go over some basic information we learn about the knight in chapters 3 and 4. Let's start with the first thing you're bound to notice about the knight, their appearance. Ignoring how similar they look to the titans from the prophecy, and the fact that they literally have gaster hands, the most obvious and damning aspect of their appearance is their antlers. Now, I've heard some people say that they could just be wearing armor, and this might just be how their helmet is shaped, but at the beginning of the fight, the knight's body contorts and transforms in weird ways, including the supposed armor. So this is definitely not armor. At least it's not metal armor. This is either their skin transformed by the Dark World, similar to how Chris's skin is blue in the Dark World, or they're wearing magical armor that acts as like a skin-tight suit. Regardless, I highly doubt these antlers came from a metal helmet, which means that the knight has antlers. And there's only one family in Hometown that has antlers, the Holidays. Therefore, it's highly likely that the Roaring Knight is a member of the Holiday family, with the two most likely candidates being Noelle's mom, Carol Holiday, and Noelle's missing sister, December Holiday. These are basically the only two credible knight candidates considered by the fandom, and it does make sense since there's mountains of evidence that point to either one of them being the knight. But before we get into all that evidence, there's one more thing I want to bring up about the knight, and that's their music. During the knight's fight, this absolute banger, which you're listening to right now, will play. Now, if any of you are familiar with Toby Fox's music, then you know that he's a big fan of leitmotifs. A leitmotif is a repeated melodic phrase associated with a particular person, idea, or situation. Both Deltarune and Undertale's soundtracks utilize them heavily. Essentially, every major character and area in both games have their own leitmotifs, and music with their leitmotifs will play when they're on screen. Leitmotifs are also used to show a relationship between two characters. For example, Toriel's theme appears in Asgore's music since they were married, and Papyrus's theme shows up in Sans' music because they're brothers. Analyzing the knight's battle music, called Black Knife on the OST, you'll find some interesting leitmotivic discoveries. Is leitmotivic a word? Well, it's a word now. For one, Black Knife sounds very similar to the songs The Chase and The Door from Chapter 1. Both of these songs are played in major scenes involving the knight or the dark worlds they create, so this makes sense. But it's not really that important to this theory. What is important is the fact that this song sounds very similar to the song Burn in Despair from Undertale. Interestingly, this song is associated with Azrael Dreamer since it plays during his boss fight. Azrael's leitmotif appearing in the knight's main theme implies that the knight was close to Azrael, no? Which can be used to narrow down the knight's identity further. Another song that I feel is referenced in Black Knife is Lost Girl. Like, maybe I've just gone insane after being exposed to 4 years worth of Deltarune brain rot, but I swear I can hear Lost Girl in this song. Like, I can't pinpoint any specific quotes of the song, but just listen to the damn thing. This song is like emanating Lost Girl from it. I've seen some people reverse this song and claim that they can hear Lost Girl's motif in it, but I don't know about all that. What do you think? Like, to be honest, I can't really hear it. Everyone in the comment section of a video I watch comparing the two swears they can hear it, but I just can't. The melodies have similar contours, but clearly they're not the same. Anyway, based purely on vibes, I still feel like this song is connected to Lost Girl in some way, and by extension, Noelle, and also maybe Des, since the rhythm minigame implies Des wrote the melody to Lost Girl on her guitar. But regardless, if you agree that these songs sound similar, this further connects the night to Noelle and the holiday family. Anyway, that's all the new information we learn about the night that's relevant to this video. Now let's get into the night candidates. Let's start with the mayor. There's a lot of evidence pointing to her being the knight. Too much evidence, in my opinion. Almost like she's a red herring, but whatever. For one, the mayor is always described as being busy, and it's like, what could she possibly be so busy with? Hometown is a small town with literally no crime. So what sorts of things is Mayor Holiday getting up to all day, exactly? When we meet her for the first time, she comes off as cold and distant, literally lowering the temperature when she walks in the room. She also seems pretty confident in herself and has a particular disdain for Susie. The knight comes off as cocky and condescending in their boss fight, and they also seem to have it out for Susie, so they definitely fit the mayor's character profile. Another interesting thing about the knight is the fact that they seem to trust Chris. They might even be working with them. If the knight defeats the Fun Gang in battle, the knight will make Susie and Rousey swoon, but will spare Chris. Specifically, they'll go up to them and place their blade on their shoulder, almost like they're knighting Chris. Then, they'll leave and Chris will just play dead, implying Chris is working with the knight and is trying to hide that fact. This fact is further supported by Chris's behavior during the knight's fight. They will do far less damage than normal during the beginning stages of the fight, even less damage than Rousey, which is very unusual. It's only after a party member falls down that Chris starts doing more damage, or more likely, the damage they were always capable of doing but just chose not to. Along with Chris holding back, the knight also seems to hold back during their fight. The knight will never insta-kill Chris like they do Susie and Rousey after a certain amount of hits, and this combined with the fact that the knight knew Chris opened the TV Dark World, as evidenced by the fact that Tenna claimed to have spoken to the knight previously, proves that Chris and the knight are working together. And you want to know who else is not so secretly working with Chris? The mayor. After Chris rips out their soul in chapter 4, you can overhear them talking to someone on the phone. This mysterious caller mentions something about the next Dark World. Then, they'll warn Chris not to let Susie get to the guitar, probably because the guitar contains one of the codes to the bunker, which is where the knight took Undyne at the end of chapter 3. They mention some stuff about Chris's soul, the red soul, and then the caller mentions that the next Dark World is gonna be opened in the church. So, the person on the line is either the knight or they're working for the knight. And this caller is heavily implied to be Carol because after Susie gets the guitar, the caller says they'll be right over. And sure enough, moments later, the mayor shows up, even though Noelle said she would be working late. So this confirms that Carol is either the knight or knows who the knight is, since she has a say in where the next Dark World will be opened. This also confirms that Chris is working for the mayor, just like they're working for the knight. At the end of chapter 4, the mayor even reminds Chris that they promised to do something for her. So clearly they have some sort of agreement worked out between each other. Perhaps the most obvious piece of evidence that Carol is the knight is the giant-ass katana displayed in her kitchen. Guess this is how middle-aged suburban women keep themselves entertained these days, but this katana looks strikingly similar to the weapon used by the knight. The hilt of the blade looks almost identical to the hilt of the blade used by the knight. And one of the knight's attacks involves shooting bullets that look like snowflakes, and as I mentioned earlier, the mayor is heavily associated with the cold. The hand she puts on Chris's shoulder feels cold. The temperature of the room seems to get colder when she enters, and at work, she likes the AC on full blast. So it's really starting to stack up here, and things are not looking too good for Mayor Holiday. But a question you may be asking is why the mayor would want to be the knight in the first place. And it's really quite simple. She's looking for her missing daughter, Des. Many people believe that Des is stuck in another plane of reality, like the depths. which is a theoretical plane of existence where all darkness originates from. People also believe that Des is the person speaking in the unused text in every chapter's code, so maybe the Knight, aka the Mayor, is opening Dark Worlds not to cause the roaring, but to try and find her daughter. It's certainly possible. Well, I shouldn't say it's possible. It's 100% confirmed that the Mayor is actively searching for Des. How do I know this? Because she has a freaking conspiracy board in her bedroom, like you'd see in a movie. Clearly this board is related to Des in some way, and this isn't like an unused sprite or anything. You can actually see the inside of Carol and Rudy's room through the vents, and you can even see a secret scene with Asgore where he vaguely alludes to Des's disappearance when he's looking at the conspiracy board, but I'll talk about that scene later. Regardless, clearly, the Mayor is very motivated and obsessed with finding her daughter. Understandably so. Also, another very interesting thing about this room. You can't really see this very well in the game itself, but if you look into the game's files and see the sprite for this room, you'll see a katana with a black blade sitting by the Mayor's bed. You know, a black blade? Like the thing the Knight gives us if we beat it? Yeah. Totally not the Knight's weapon, by the way. Anyway, that's the Carol Knight theory in a nutshell. Seems pretty cut and dry, right? Sure, but, if I'm being honest, I don't really think Carol's the Knight. Call it a hunch, but something tells me the Mayor is just a red herring. Just like how Chris was a red herring in Chapter 2. And look, fool me once, shame on you. But fool me twice, shame on me. I see right through Toby's little charades, and although I can't exactly prove the Mayor isn't the Knight, I feel like there are much better candidates to consider. So, what about this? Could she be the Knight? Absolutely. First of all, take a look at the Knight's weapon. What does it remind you of? Me personally, it reminds me of a baseball bat. And we know how much Des likes baseball. She even hit Chris with a wiffle bat once. And the Knight certainly looks like they're about to hold their weapon like a baseball bat in this animation, before switching to gripping it like a normal sword. And yes, I know from other angles this weapon looks like a sword, but we all know Dark Worlds can transform items, so maybe the Dark World just transformed Des's bat into a sword, kinda like how Chris's pencil transformed into a sword. This connection seems even stronger if you analyze the lyrics to Raise Up Your Bats. Just as a refresher, Raise Up Your Bats is the song that plays during Chapter 3's rhythm minigame. It's the one where Rousey changes all the lyrics on the fly, and just listen to the original lyrics of this song. When the demon heart is crying, and the blood is gushing bright, raise up your bat for the burning fight. When your hope is slowly dying, and your future's lost its rights, raise up your bat and face the fright, knock 'em dead into the night. Like bro, this literally sounds like Des explaining her motivation for raising up her bat and becoming the Knight. And the fact that we're raising up a bat is like way too specific. Clearly this has something to do with Des and baseball bats. And just listen to the chorus. Come follow me into the dark, with your heart as the arc, which shall shine you the way, because I'm with you in the dark, with your heart as my mark, which shall guide you the way through the waves. Ignoring the don't forget reference, does this not literally sound like Des talking to Chris? Like, I have no proof of this, but I strongly suspect this is an in-universe song written by Des, and she's definitely talking to Chris in this song. Especially since it talks a lot about hearts, clearly referencing Chris's soul, so it kinda sounds like Des is encouraging Chris to do something, possibly related to creating Dark Worlds, and I guess also fighting. I admit I don't know her exact motives for becoming the Knight or why she would want Chris to help her, but I don't think anyone will truly know until the next chapter is released. Like, there just isn't enough information to really glean her motive. But I feel like this baseball connection is strong. Speaking of baseballs, maybe I'm just tripping, but doesn't the ball the Knight transforms into kind of look like a baseball? Am I the only one who sees this? Another piece of evidence pointing towards Des being the Knight is the fact that the Knight is left-handed. Just look at all of their animations. They almost exclusively swing their sword with their left hand. And do you want to know who else is left-handed? Des. If you look at Des's desk, you'll see that her mouse is on the left side of the computer, clearly indicating she's left-handed. Then there's all of the leitmotifs and the Knight's theme that points towards Des. There's of course the superficial similarities between the track and Lost Girl, which might actually be Des's theme, not Noelle's, but that's up for debate. But the most interesting musical connection is the fact that one of Azriel's songs seems to have been the foundation that The Black Knight was written on. Why does this song sound so similar to burn in despair? Well, like I said, it's probably because the knight had a close personal relationship with Azrael. And since Des used to be friends with Chris and Azrael, this makes sense. Especially since Azrael was around the same age as Des, so they were likely the closest. Des may have even been in love with Azrael for all we know, but I'll stay away from fanfiction territory for this video. The last piece of evidence that points towards Des being the knight is the inspiration for the knight character. Basically, Toby Fox is a huge fan of the Mother series, and the knight is clearly inspired by an antagonist called the Masked Man from Mother 3. I'm about to spoil a huge part of Mother 3's plot, so if you don't want to hear that, I recommend you skip to this timestamp right now. Okay, so basically, for those of you who don't know, the main character of Mother 3 is a kid named Lucas, and Lucas had a brother named Klaus who ran away to get revenge on the animal that killed his mom. He ended up going missing for several years and no one knew where he was. Well, it turns out he died, and the main villain's army revived him and turned him into the Masked Man, who is a major antagonist for Lucas. He, along with Lucas, are the only two people able to pull the 7 needles, and basically, the short of it is if an evil person pulls all of the 7 needles, then it'll cause the end of the world. So are we seeing the similarities between the Masked Man and the Knight? Both are masked or unidentifiable individuals who either poke things or pull things from the earth in order to cause the end of the world. And assuming the Knight is Des, they are both the missing and presumed dead siblings of one of the main characters. So, like, depending on how heavily Mother 3 influenced the Knight's character, Des might be the Knight purely based on that. That's basically all the evidence pointing towards Des being the Knight. And I have to say, out of the two candidates, the Mayor and Des, I like Des better because, like, I just strongly suspect the Mayor is just a red herring, whereas Des is actually a serious candidate. Although there are a few parts of this theory that, like, don't really make a lot of sense to me. For one, isn't Des supposed to be trapped in the game's code, or I guess the depths or whatever? I mean, come on, who else would the person in the game's code be other than Des? She's the only person established to be missing. Now, of course, it's always possible that the conversation Des has with herself in the code happened in the past and she's since escaped the code and became the Knight. Except if you read the text a little closer, it kind of implies that she's currently stuck in the code, like as we speak. I'm gonna read chapter 4's unused text to show what I mean. I'm starting to lose track of time. Has it been days? Hours? If someone told me it's been years, I might believe them. Before, the sun came up, and so many wonderful things happened that made time meaningful. Things like breakfast, or late night TV. In this place, I don't eat or drink anymore. I can't tell if I'm awake or dreaming. I can't even tell if I'm dead or alive. And it's just nothing but pitch black silence, except for this noise, the scratching noise I sometimes hear. This sounds crazy, but even though no one can hear me, when I hear that noise, I feel like someone's listening. Anyone, if you're there, thank you. So she's directly talking to us, the people looking through the game's code and reading the message right now. I guess the scratching noise is somehow caused by us. I guess by looking through the game's code, basically the fabric of its reality. This kind of implies that Des is trapped in the code right now as we speak, so can she really be the Knight? Also, if Des is the Knight, this kind of muddies up the motivation of the Mayor substantially, since it seems like the Mayor is desperately trying to find her daughter, but at the same time is working for the Knight to open up Dark Worlds in order to search for Des. And it's like if Des is the Knight, then she already found Des. She doesn't need to do all this. So that would mean she's opening Dark Worlds for another reason. That, or she somehow doesn't know the Knight is her daughter, maybe. But then, like, why is Des doing this? And why is she tricking her parents? I don't know. Feels a little confusing. I definitely think Des Knight has the most amount of evidence, but it adds a layer of complexity to the story, and unless you add a bunch of extra context and explanation that we're not privy to, it kind of doesn't make a ton of sense. So I guess Carol Knight makes more sense, but like I said, I don't think the Mayor is a very satisfying option. So what are we left with here? Well, there is one holiday we have yet to consider, and it's not Noel because, like, the Knight is way too big to be Noel. It's Rudy. Couldn't he be the Knight? Rudy would have, like, the same motivations to open up Dark Worlds as his wife, to find Des, and pretty much every bit of evidence that implicates Caro also implicates him, like the black katana on the foot of his bed. Again, totally not the Knight's weapon, by the way. And is Rudy really just a sick, dying man? Or is there more to him? Could he have a dark side that he hides behind his friendliness and his illness? I admit I latched onto the Rudy is the Knight theory on my first playthrough, purely based on vibes, but through the power of confirmation bias, I have have found quite a few hints that point to old Rootster being more than he seems. The first thing is his illness. At first, it seems like Rudy is completely bedbound, making it impossible for him to be the knight, except we see in chapter 4 that bro can definitely walk. And besides, the knight like floats the entire time anyway, so like it wouldn't even matter if he can walk or not, he could still definitely fight. Obviously he would get tired, which might explain why the knight kind of ended the battle a bit early. But regardless, I think Rudy is more physically capable than he appears to be. A thing that I always wondered about Rudy is what exactly is causing his illness? I mean, I guess he could just have cancer, but what if the magical powers he wields as a knight is making him sick? At first, this seems like a baseless claim, but there is some evidence that the knight's powers can make people sick. Case in point, Chris. They get physically ill during the knight's boss fight, and this can't just be nervousness. I mean, just read these descriptions. You felt lightheaded, your vision narrows, your chest feels tight, you felt your chest twisting, you felt a migraine coming on, your heartbeat becomes twisted. Like, bro needs life alert. These are like the textbook symptoms of a heart attack, and what's interesting is the fact that the knight notices that Chris is getting sick and reacts to it. Chris coughed. The knight slowly tilts its head. So the knight is getting concerned when Chris starts coughing, which is very interesting because coughing is the main symptom of Rudy's illness. So it's almost like the knight cares about Chris and doesn't want him to get sick like he is. Now, this sign does appear later in the fight, so it's always possible that this is just Chris's way of signaling to the knight like, hey, you're getting washed here, can we maybe wrap things up? But I don't know. I feel like both interpretations are valid, so I'm just gonna go with the interpretation that helps my theory. Now, another interesting detail about the knight's fight is the fact that Chris can hold their breath to make their soul go faster. Now, why would holding your breath, of all things, give Chris an advantage in the fight? What's the relevance? Well, this could be because Rudy is always out of breath. He's always having these like coughing fits, like his illness is in his lungs. And speaking of lungs, what's going on with the knight's lungs? Because when they power up for the first time, their body contorts in these weird shapes, especially the chest area. Just look how distorted it looks. But when the knight does its final attack, look at its chest. It has this weird spiral thing in it. Like, what in the world could this be? My theory is that this spiral is the source of the knight's power. And since the source of the knight's power is in its chest, maybe that's why Rudy is so sick and why his health problems are related to his chest. I don't know, maybe this is just me tripping. Maybe I'm onto literally nothing. But I strongly feel like Rudy is the best candidate for being the knight. I mean, can you imagine how shocking that would be? The intrigue, the drama if Rudy was the knight? I know, it's hard to believe that a nice guy like Rudy would be the knight, especially when the knight is so arrogant in their fight and seems to have a very antagonistic relationship with Susie, since Rudy seems to like Susie, but I don't know. He did threaten to kick her ass that one time, so who knows? Maybe the knight is like his bad boy alter ego or some shit. Either way, I feel like narratively, Rudy makes the most amount of sense to be the knight, because otherwise, he's pretty much a nothing character. Like, I guess he's sick and Noelle's dad and also might die later, but I don't know. Whenever I make a video on why such and such person is the knight, I always ask myself, does this person's character improve if they're the knight? Do they become more interesting and compelling if they're the knight? And I feel like with Rudy, that's a hard yes. You know, I should probably say that even if Rudy is the knight, that doesn't mean Carol is innocent. As Chris's phone call proves, she's heavily involved in the decision making on where the knight opens each dark world. And of course, the death conspiracy board is in his freaking bedroom. So yeah, if Rudy is the knight, he's definitely closely working with his wife. He's basically the bronze of the operation and Carol is the brains. Now, there's one last thing I want to bring up with this whole Rudy knight thing, and that's the timeline. The timeline of events lines up perfectly if Rudy is the knight, and let me explain. We see in Tenna's flashback the exact order that people stopped showing up at the Dreamer household. And this is like a rough timeline on like which relationship deteriorated first and which order did they happen in. And we see that people left in this order: Des, Carol, Asgore, Noelle, Rudy, and Azrael. I find it really odd that Rudy held out for so long, like even longer than fucking Asgore. And the reason I bring this up is because it's really strange that Des has been missing for so long, yet the knight is only taking steps to find her now. Like, the game's dialogue clearly indicates that these dark worlds are recent, so it's like, why is the knight only taking steps now? Well, if Rudy is the knight, maybe he was like resisting his wife's demands to become the knight for a long time and only gave in recently. I know some of you are saying, But the flashback shows Rudy leaving when Chris was a little kid, so it couldn't have been recent. But come on, the flashback shows Azriel leaving home when Chris was a little kid, which doesn't really make a lot of sense because the dialogue clearly indicates that Azriel recently left to go off to college. And if he left when Chris was a little kid, wouldn't he have graduated by now? So yeah, I don't think that we can take this flashback super literally. I think it just shows the general order that people left. But of course, any number of years could have taken place between each disappearance. So Rudy leaving could still be a semi-recent development. Obviously, it wouldn't have happened immediately before Chapter 1, since he would still have to be the knight for long enough to get sick. But maybe he was opening Dark Worlds off screen prior to Chapter 1, only to put his plan into full effect now. I admit this argument is a bit of a stretch, but I thought I would point it out. That's basically my theory on why Rudy is the knight. And there are a few holes in this theory, like how the knight's song references one of Azriel's songs, implying that the knight was close to Azriel, which isn't necessarily true of Rudy. Like, yes, Rudy was friends with Azriel's parents and spent a lot of time with him in like a group setting, but I don't see any evidence of them having a very strong one-on-one relationship. I guess the motif in Burn in Despair could just be used to represent a situation or a feeling rather than a specific person, but I admit that this part of the theory is a bit weak. Another problem with the theory is the fact that the knight opened the Dark World in the same room as Noelle, and it's pretty inconceivable to me that Rudy would endanger his daughter like that, especially when he's so protective of her. I mean, I guess you could make the same argument for the mayor and Des, like why would the mayor want to endanger her daughter like that? I mean, she is a strict parent, but it seems like she still cares about Noelle. And why on earth would Des want to hurt Noelle when Des has been shown to be very protective of her in the past? So perhaps this means that Noelle and Birdley entered the computer lab after the Dark World was created, meaning the knight had no idea Noelle was gonna fall in. But I don't know, I feel like their position in the room implies that they were already in the computer lab when the Dark World was created. So maybe this is just a plot hole or there's something I'm not seeing. I don't know. At this point, I want to point out that it doesn't necessarily matter if Carol or Rudy is the knight, since everyone is complicit in the night scheme. And by everyone, I don't just mean the holidays. I mean both the holiday and Dreamer families are involved. Apart from maybe Noelle and possibly Azriel, but that's to be determined. Now, I think the evidence that Chris is involved in this scheme is pretty clear-cut, but I will admit that the evidence against Toriel and Asgore is a lot weaker, but it's still there, so let's start with Asgore. He definitely knows more than he lets on. In Chapter 4, when you're like in the vents of Noelle's house, you can actually get a secret scene with Asgore if you go to the bathroom. Yes, you do have to watch him piss to get it, and yes, it is as creepy and voyeuristic as it sounds, but if you watch him in the bathroom, he'll eventually start talking to himself about something. Dum-de-dum. Phew, cleaning up sure works up an appetite. I wonder if the kitchen has any meals for me. No, not now. I can't afford to take a break. Now, more than ever, I need to concentrate, to settle this once and for all. I've got to go look again. After that, he leaves to go look at the conspiracy board in Carol and Rudy's room. You can follow him into that room and he talks to himself some more. We're almost there, aren't we? Old friend. This time for sure, Tori will finally see what really happened. That I just wanted to protect everyone. And this time, she'll have to believe me. They all will. Then, we'll all be a happy family again, won't we? It sure is beautiful, isn't it? This black shard. Like, bro, what? He's literally talking about the fucking black shard the knight gives us. This means he's absolutely in cahoots with the knight, no? And bro, what is Unk planning? Is he deadass gonna open a Dark World with that katana? And we all know what Asgore is capable of when he's pushed into a corner. So frankly, I'm afraid for everyone's safety. But sorry, let me get back on topic. Not only does it seem like Asgore feels indebted to the mayor and is actively searching for Des, but he literally mentions the knight's weapon. There's no way he doesn't know about the Holiday's plot to open more Dark Worlds to find Des. He absolutely has to know. Now let's move on to Toriel. I just want to preface this by saying that most of the evidence for this theory comes from the game's code as opposed to anything you can encounter playing normally. You could even argue that some of this is unused content, and I know some people don't consider that stuff canon, but it is in the code, and I'm gonna talk about it. And Toby does like leaving clues in his code to add more lore to the story anyway. So yeah, here's the evidence that Toriel might know more than she lets on. Shout out to JuiceCube on YouTube for making this discovery. I'll link their video in the description below, but basically, in the map for the Ice Palace level in the secret NES game, most of the mobs in there have their own placeholder sprites in the level editor. The placeholder for the little hooded ice mage is a deer, and the ice mage's is also called the deer in the files, so this is clearly Noelle. But along with there being like this normal looking brown deer, there's also a black deer placeholder sprite, and it's used in that room with the little weird black monster that mirrors your movements. The placeholder for this sprite is called sprite_board_deer_black. So like, can we all agree that this is totally Des? Like, the brown counterpart is clearly Noelle, so wouldn't the black counterpart be Des? Anyway, if you analyze the code for the black deer placeholder, you'll see that this placeholder has a lot of weird properties and characteristics to it. It's definitely not normal for a placeholder sprite. Like with the brown deer, it's just a regular placeholder. There isn't anything interesting with it. But with the black deer, there's a lot of interesting properties and extra code that doesn't seem to do anything. For one, when the black deer spawns, the code initializes a variable called torial and sets it to true. This torial variable seems to control whether or not the black deer is replaced with the black monster in the game. Basically, it checks if the torial variable is true, and if it is, it will replace the black deer sprite with the black monster sprite. If you get rid of this line, or you set the torial variable to false, then the black deer will spawn in place of the black monster. And this black deer has walking animations for it, which is weird since this sprite seems to be unused. So it kind of feels like Toby wanted people to find this. And this is just like so incredibly weird. Like, why is the variable called torial, and why does a variable need to exist that determines if the black deer is replaced with the black monster? Like, there's no situation where the black deer would be in place of the black monster, so why add all of this extra code that does nothing? Why not just change the black deer to the black monster unconditionally? Like the code changes the brown deer into Noelle unconditionally. Like, clearly Toby wanted us to find this variable called torial and was, I guess, trying to hint towards something, and the only thing I could guess that he's trying to hint towards is that maybe Toriel isn't being completely honest with her children about Des's disappearance, hence why the Toriel variable needs to be set to true in order to hide Des's sprite and replace it with the black monster. So I guess she's hiding something about Des, and the question is, what is she hiding and why is she hiding it? From the short interaction Toriel has with Rudy, it seems like her and the mayor don't like each other. Like, she won't even call the mayor by her name. So I don't necessarily think she's deeply involved in the Knight's plot to find Des, but I do think she's probably aware of it, hence why she doesn't like the mayor that much. Editing me here. One thing I forgot to mention is the fact that there's evidence Toriel is rooting for the Knight. If the Knight defeats you in battle and you check Toriel, the narration will say she's sleeping peacefully. But if you beat the Knight in battle, the narration will say her face is contorted. It looks like she's having a nightmare. I just find that really interesting. Do with that information what you will, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Anyway, let's get back to the video. But regardless, clearly all of the adults in these families are either directly complicit in the Knight's plan or are aware of it and aren't doing anything to stop it. And now they've wrapped in poor Chris. Like, I genuinely feel bad for them. I don't think there's a single adult truly looking out for their best interests. Like, why on earth would you involve a child in your psychotic evil plan? Like, drop some prayer emojis in the comments for Chris, because I don't know. There's a lot of bad parenting going on in this game. This is the end of the video, but if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Undertale Deltarune Theory content. And if you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming a channel member, or...
That was an interesting video. Oh, Sephiroth, you're finally doing it?
I'm gonna attempt it.
Ba 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 ba.
You literally chimed in right on time.
Really?
Right on cue. That was scary.
Damn it, I wish you would have been streaming. That would have been funny.
Oh god.
Do you need to start from the beginning? Like do a whole thing?
No, it's just a single fight.
Oh, okay.
It's the platinum match.
Oh, okay.
I'm not even ready to do the gold one yet.
Oh.
I just wanted to attempt it.
So this person, this girl, believes that dad is the knight instead of either Des or the mom.
I saw that theory, and that theory was actually really interesting.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
What I found the most interesting with this video was that Toriel makes a face when you beat the knight, versus when you lose to the knight, it says she is sleeping peacefully. If you beat the knight, you go check on her, she says her face is contorted. It looks like she's having a nightmare. If you don't beat the knight, you check on her, it says she's sleeping peacefully. I'm like, huh. Ooh.
I wonder if there's any difference in the interaction with Noel's dad.
If you beat or don't beat him.
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
Totally went the wrong way. So dumb.
Going into this video, I assume that you're already aware of the weird/Snowgrave route introduced in Deltarune Chapter 2. I'm just gonna continue to call it the Snowgrave route because it's, you know, way cooler, both in terms of temperature and badassery. So if you don't want fairly major spoilers for the story and larger meta surrounding Deltarune, then you know, either don't watch this video or go start with that Snowgrave overview and then continue on from here. Right off the bat, there is not something equivalent to the Snowgrave route present in Chapter 3. There is a section of the game that very heavily references it, but that's all related to a secret boss area in Chapter 3 that I'll be covering in a separate video. Keep an eye out for that. The focus of this video is comparing how things have changed when playing a normal route versus a Snowgrave route save file. I've only found two things. that have changed in Chapter 3 as the result of a Snowgrave save file. The first is a part of regular gameplay, and the second is a little more hidden. Looking at the more obvious one first. After doing the second board of Chapter 3, when given the option to check on Susie or Ralsei, there's a difference in dialogue if you follow up with Ralsei. You talk about the festival, and you say you intend to go with Noelle. On a normal route, Noelle? I'm sure if Susie was with you too, Noelle would probably really appreciate it. I'm sure the three of you would have a lot of fun. If it's the three of you. And instead, on the Snowgrave, Noelle? Chris, I think that's a bad choice. I mean, I'm sorry, a bad choice to make alone. Noelle might want to go with Susie. I hope you can figure out a nice solution, with the difference ending when Susie rejoins. And an extra little warning here, I am going to be spoiling a part of the secret boss in Chapter 3. If you've managed to avoid that so far and don't want to suddenly have that thrown in front of you unexpectedly, then this is your warning to avoid that. First, here's the normal dialogue when first reaching this boss. Chris, oh Chris. Is it fun, Chris? Playing around like this? That's why you're searching for them, aren't you? The shadow crystals? And the shadow mantle that I'm holding? Do you honestly think it'll get you what you want? No, part of you is just enjoying this, isn't it? Oh, don't make that sour face. I can see in the dark, you know. The question is, can you? And in the Snowgrave route, there are 2 lines inserted towards the end. No, part of you is just enjoying this, isn't it? The same part of you that enjoyed yesterday, knowing you could say it wasn't really you. Oh, don't make that sour face. And the last couple lines resume from there. Before I move into Chapter 4, assuming you're a fan of this style of modern RPG, introducing choice and consequences, having your actions directly affect the story, I would ask that you check out a game being published by Two Left Thumbs, Play Rough. Directly inspired primarily by Deltarune and Lisa. While it won't be released episodically, as a demo, the first chapter is available to play right now.
Well, you do have the
already there are various secrets, Easter eggs, and ways which you can affect the story. It is an absolute honor to be involved with this. Obviously, I signed it due to my own love for Deltarune, and I think this game has the potential to live up to that legacy. Go give the demo a try, play around with it, and let us know what you think. And be sure to add it to your Steam wishlist. There is no greater way you could help us at this time. There will be a link pinned in the comments as well as in the description.
This is the game you told me about, Play Rough.
It is instead in Chapter 4 where we see the real ramifications of those choices.
What?
Again, we aren't able to pick it up as a separate route, and it's not something you can initiate late if you didn't already do it in Chapter 2. This is a direct continuation of how that story played out. The first real difference happens after the church service.
Or I'm finding all the videos you watched.
Rudy and Noelle would have a couple dialogue options, trying to search for clues about the key. Instead, in the Snowgrave, they have very specific responses with no choices. Chris Meister, hey, what's the deal, snowmobile? Huh? Locked out? Noelle wasn't stuck outside the gate again, was she, Chris? Carol, damn, I keep telling her to keep a key at City Hall. But she insists on keeping everything important at home, like when Noelle was a kid. She made paper snowflakes for Carol to hang up at work, but Carol just wouldn't take them there because she wanted to keep the damn things safe. She preserved them and stuck them up on the wall at home. Of course, you know Noelle. She had to cry over that until she went and made snow angels with you guys. After that, she forgot she was sad at all. Anyway, what was I saying? And talking to him once more. You know, this morning, Noelle was saying, I wonder if Chris is going tomorrow too. Just make sure she has fun, alright? Chris, you came over to check on me? That's really nice of you. Do you think I could talk to you later? Key? Yeah, I think I was singing a bit off key. Can you blame me for being distracted? In a normal route, after gathering the information, Susie comes up with the idea of approaching Noelle and pitching her the idea that we should all get together to work on our school projects. For proper context, here is the lead-in to that decision, as it's presented on a normal route. Yeah, wait, now that I think about it. Her mom's the mayor, right? And the front of their house, it's got pine trees all over. Kinda like the holidays just got frozen in place. Maybe if we can sneak in there ourselves, we might be able to find a clue in there. And instead, the snow grave scene. The mayor is Noelle's mom, right? Maybe if we tried Chris, and Susie? Would you want to come by my house and work on our projects after church? Huh? Yeah, of course. Great. I'll, go bring my... Great. Do you want to... Grave scene themselves. We might be able to find a clue in there. And instead, the snow grave scene. The mayor is Noelle's mom, right? Maybe if we tried Chris, and Susie? Would you want to come by my house and work on our projects after church? Huh? Yeah, of course. Great. I'll, go bring my dad back to the hospital. Cool, that's, awesome. See you later. Too easy, right? Boom! Give me 5. What's up? You, got something against Noelle, Chris? Like, hey, maybe things took a weird route right now. I mean, who'd expect she'd ask us like that? But we should be glad it's going so fast, right? Right? Hey, how about some of the red stuff, no? Your loss. Know you're gonna want it later. Let's just go already. Toby, you maniac, just writing weird route directly into the dialogue, and Chris wanting some of the red stuff? Ooh, the implications. And I think it's significant that Noelle interrupts this conversation precisely before Susie says, "It's like the holidays got frozen in place." There's already so many clever things that play with that line, the holidays being frozen in place, and their family name is the Holidays, so both their decorations are frozen and themselves as a family emotionally mourning the loss of Des. But Toby knows what he's doing there. Having the snow grave route interrupt a mention of being frozen in place, it's very intentional. If you visit the hospital, your friend? He's still... In any case, thank you for bringing him in yesterday. What, you want to go in by yourself? Whatever. Which, we have confirmation, after all these years, Birdley did not die. He's just seemingly in a coma or roughed up real bad. He's breathing slowly. Might be your imagination, but he seems cold. If you leave him, nothing happens. Or you may heat him up. You changed the hot water bottle on his head. He's breathing slowly, might be your imagination, but he seems more relaxed. You turn on the space heater to a higher setting. Birdley's in there, right? Don't give me bird flu or whatever he has. And in a normal route going to the library, Birdley will be working at the front desk. Instead here, the library is closed this weekend due to a lack of volunteers. When you sit down on the couch to initiate your study session, when Chris will sneak off and search around the house, this would normally be interrupted by Birdley calling and inviting Noelle to the festival. Noelle still receives a call to interrupt, but this time it instead comes from her mother. Hi Mom, what's up? Yeah, I took Dad home, so it's just me here. Huh? No problem. I can probably just cook something. Gosh, Mom, I'm not gonna burn myself. Okay, see you later tonight. Sorry, can we go ahead and start our project? Wait. Don't we need more like, stuff, like, paper, pencils, project stuff, Chris, you should go look for it. Right, Susie? Chris, I think there was some stuff in my room, Wanted to go look? There it is. Well, it is at this point that you would normally rip out the heart and go stash it in the gift room. In the snow grave route, they are interrupted. Chris, are you up there? Finding it in the drawer. Chris, there's something I'd like to talk to you about. Just the two of us? If you don't mind, I'll be in my room, okay? Chris retrieves the heart and then stashes it in the gift same as before. And while playing as the heart, we have an entirely new cutscene to spy on, making our way up and across over to Noelle's room. To be honest, I've kind of been waiting for a chance for us to be alone all day. There's something I want to talk to you about, Chris. I wanted to talk to you about last night. Last night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, all I could see was snow. I was terrified. Terrified it was all real. I went out on the porch to breathe, and that's when I felt the hand on my wrist. Froze. There's your voice. Chris's voice. You said, sorry for taking your watch, Noelle. You said it was all a stupid prank. You said Birdley is going to get better. And you put the watch back on my wrist. You said, sorry for being weird at the hospital, Noelle. You said it was all a stupid prank. You said Birdley was going to get better. Chris, your voice, your deadpan, mumbly voice. Even if you sounded kind of weak and shaky, I don't know why, but it felt so long since I heard it. I even started sniffling.
I'm good, babe.
Chris, you're back. Chris, thank you. Well, no thanks for pranking me, but... Chris, can I say something else? When you were first presented with a dialogue choice, your heart that had been up in the vent is now down in this menu, and when you select proceed, it stays down on the screen. You now have a limited window during this conversation to bring the heart back over to Chris. Noelle's eyes are closed, and she doesn't notice. Chris, there was something else you did. Something else I have to ask you about. After you said all that, you took my hand and pulled a thorn out of my finger. Then you said that when I saw you again, you said not to mention you did any of this, or... See Chris's hand shaking and twitching here. Chris, it's okay. It's just us. You just said not to mention any of that because it'd get heard. Chris, it's okay. It's just us. Who's going to hear? Me. Chris? Chris? Your voice. It... Chris, that's another joke, right? That voice. How? The voice from my dream. Because it wasn't a dream. Sorry, Chris. What did you say? I must have misheard you. No, there's no way they heard. There's no way they heard my thoughts. I heard. What are you talking about, Chris? I didn't say anything. It's impossible. That's impossible. It's just a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. If you can hear me, say red or blue. Say green or black. Say it didn't happen. Say it didn't snow. You're lying. You're lying. Noel becomes stronger. Chris? Chris, what did you say? Quip. Chris? Chris, what is that? Proceed. Chris, that's not the thorn, is it? That's not the thorn ring, is it? Proceed. Chris, come on, you still... What about last night? What about... Didn't you want to protect me? Proceed. Why can't I move? Why can't I look away? Noel, do something. Equip. Chris, I really think, I think I need, gosh, I think I have to. Equip. Chris? Now, interestingly, when the game first came out, it sprayed a bit of blood and kind of looked a little bit like a rose. It was a pretty cool effect, but it was getting commonly misinterpreted among the fandom, and a new animation was added a few days later, one that's a little bit more dramatic, looking closer to a red crack shattering across the screen. Everything fades to black for a few seconds. Chris then stumbles into the bathroom. The camera is a blur. The lights are cutting in and out. The heart is tossed in the trash can, and Chris kicks it around the room, smashing it repeatedly with increasing aggression. Asgore interrupts. Chris, are you okay in there? Just thought I'd let you know. Mayor Carroll is asking everyone to leave. And, I thought you looked a little down today. So, I made a special treat for you. Your friend and I will be waiting for you outside with it. Feel better, Chris. The heart is retrieved, we gain back control, and almost immediately stumble. There's nothing to be interacted with in this room, and as we leave, we are immediately sent outside. The winds are blowing loudly. Chris, how are you doing?
What happens in chapter 4 is like
perhaps you should just go straight
so
home and
captivating,
rest.
I guess.
Here,
That's the right
I
word.
borrowed some sweets and made you a hot chocolate. It's your favorite.
What about it so captivating
Marshmallows,
to you?
Melted candy bars, and a little pinch of
Because it's so
cinnamon
traumatic,
spice.
so
You got the hot
creepy,
chocolate.
so like what the fuck
See
is
you
this guy
around,
even
Chris.
happening? Like, what is like that whole interaction with Chris and Noel and the The weird route
Guess
is
we
just
can
like
go.
It's really uncomfortable.
but you can't look away.
So hey, while you were keeping Noelle busy, I looked inside that room next door. There was this weird guitar in there, and on the inside of it,
I feel like it's probably
there
gonna be
was a
the
code
intended
shelter.
effect
Didn't
considering
get
the
to
way
write it down
genocide
there.
was portrayed.
When I went to the living room with it,
What do you
Dad
mean?
caught me.
Well,
Started talking to me.
Flowey
until
calls you out,
Noelle's mom showed up, super pissed.
and genocide route basically
How are we
saying
gonna go
like
back there now?
you're just one of those that wants to see what happens. Like you're just that curious, like your morbid curiosity.
Well,
You're gonna
what
doom
the
all
hell do
these
we do
people
now?
because of your morbid curiosity, like that type of thing. And considering like what I
Now
just said,
it's
like
raining.
I can't look away.
At least your
I feel like
house is
it's gonna be
close.
like another
Let's
similar
go.
theme of like
We first
you
head
went
up to
down
the
this
house.
route because of your
Hey,
morbid
the door's
curiosity and
locked.
look at your consequences.
Seriously? Ugh.
Like I
You
feel
don't
like
have a key?
I'm sure
Well,
the
Mom's
weird route
doing
is
her
gonna
choir
do the exact
practice,
same
right?
thing.
Guess we can go to church and bother
That's
her.
why I want to do it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
We head back down through town towards church.
Did you know that something happens if
whole
you
thing
do the
is
genocide route
disgusting,
twice
huh?
over?
This is gonna sound dumb,
I
but
think so.
you know what else kind of bites?
Yeah, you get
We
some
even get to
different dialogue
hang
at the
out,
end.
Really. All three of us, I mean.
Like Kara is referred
Noelle
to as a
said she
demon.
wanted to talk to you, but
Really?
something about her look
Yeah.
was kind of weird. Why? Why couldn't she just talk to
Well,
you in
you the
front of her?
character, we're going down that route twice, but
What
Yeah.
were you two talking
if you
about?
name your character Kara,
The screen
Kara.
goes a soft pink, and there isn't really looked a little down today. You got the you aren't heart is retrieved. As we leave, we are immediately sent outside. The winds are blowing loudly. Chris, how are you doing? Chris, if you aren't feeling your best, perhaps you should just go straight home and rest. Here, I borrowed some sweets and made you a hot chocolate. It's your favorite. Marshmallows, melted candy bars, and a little pinch of cinnamon spice. You got the hot chocolate.
I was a little surprised to not see any differences in Chapter 3 with Snowgrave Route.
What do you mean?
Oh, in Chapter 3, if you went down Snowgrave, there was nothing. Nothing new, nothing different.
Well,
Other than some dialogue and the Shadow Mantle boss fight.
but don't you get the Shadow Mantle boss fight dialogue either way?
Yeah, you get dialogue on both routes, but you get something like one more sentence added at or change if you in Snowgrave.
Hmm.
Yeah.
See you around, Chris. Guess we can go. So, hey, while you were keeping Noelle busy, I looked inside that room next door. There was this weird guitar in there, and on the inside of it, there was a code to the shelter. Didn't get to write it down, though. When I went to the living room with it, your dad caught me and started talking to me until, Noelle's mom showed up, super pissed. Great. The hell are we gonna go back there now? Well, what the hell do we do now? Great. Now it's raining. At least your house is close. Let's go. We first head up to the house. Huh? Hey, the door's locked. Seriously? Ugh, you don't have a key? Damn. Well, your mom's doing her choir practice, right? Guess we can go to church and bother her for it. Ugh. We head back down through town towards church. Damn, That whole thing was a disaster, huh? And this is gonna sound dumb, but you know what else kinda bites? Didn't even get to hang out, really. All three of us, I mean. You know, Noelle said she wanted to talk to you, but something about her look was kinda weird. Why? Why couldn't she just talk to you in front of me? What were you two talking about? The screen goes a soft pink, and there isn't really a choice on either side, no matter what we do. It wasn't about me, right? What? Fine. I won't bring it up again. And from there, the scene carries forward as it would in the normal route. Now I'll show off the handful of opportunities you have to abort this conversation. First, you can simply answer, please don't. I guess I shouldn't. I mean, I know you didn't say anything, but I guess let's just leave it at, I'm glad you're back. From here, you regain control of the heart and are free to move back around the house again. Next is after answering proceed, if you do not reclaim control of Chris and instead leave the heart out in the open. You said that when I saw you again. Chris, what are you? At which point, Chris grabs Noelle and runs out of the room with her. If you make for the door, Chris returns, and for any of these, the heart gets tossed back into the gift, and you can again move through the vents. There's something unsettling about being able to see Chris's teeth here. It is the only time in the game so far that we really have any expression on Chris's face other than the neutral one that's really always there. From here, it's a matter of choosing any dialogue option that spares Noelle from hearing the truth. Starting with who's going to hear, not responding. Chris, you can't fool me. This had to be your worst prank ever. Never do something like that again, okay? Which, while we're looking at it, this response finally gives context to that page in the Spampton Silence ARG. Having M and E over and over and over again, it is just meant to be me. You can cut things off by saying it was a joke. Then don't scare me like that anymore. Sorry, Chris. Let's get back to doing our projects, okay? In response to hearing Noelle's thoughts, sorry, just a prank. Which gets the same response as the previous claim of it being a joke. From this point on, there aren't actual choices. They'll both say proceed, or both equip, or both answers satisfy what Noelle is asking, locking you into this next stage of the Snowgrave route. The moment Chris grabs Noelle's hand, you can see the color of her pupils change, and she goes stiff as a board. Honestly, after 4 chapters, I might need to make a video entirely on eyes. The amount of references made to eyes across this game so far is crazy. The remainder of the differences take place in Chapter 4's Dark World, presenting those
Noelle's
in the order
eyes
you encounter.
turn a different
And
color
Susie and
in that
Ralsei
scene.
split off from the group searching for Gerson's study. Now, what do you think? Where do we go? No wrong answer. Nowhere.
What color?
Pink.
Nowhere, eh? I'm sure you'll get there eventually. So, what's the rush? And
I'm
the
curious
Snowgrave
why there's so
alternates?
much pink in
Nowhere.
chapter 4.
Your words just now's got a peculiar ring to them. I can tell you're having some relationship.
During that scene with Noelle and Chris, the hue goes like pink. When Susie asks you what you were talking about in there, the screen goes a pinkish hue, and now the eyes turn pink. Fuck does pink mean? What is pink supposed to convey? Hmm.
Trouble, ain't ya? I've seen it all, you know. At your age, things go cold. You might think your whole world's ended. But you know, things go on. You'll grow up. You'll just keep living. Everything will be alright, sooner or later. Similar to the way Gerson reassures us through the main chapter, presenting the idea that maybe prophecies aren't locked in and we can be the masters of our own destiny, here, speaking to when the world goes cold, he's seemingly reinforcing that all might not be lost through the Snowgrave route either, that there is perhaps still hope. Sticking with Gerson a little later in the chapter when we have our tea party, in a normal route he asks Chris to close their eyes and drops an extra lump of sugar into their tea. The Snowgrave route has a bunch of additional dialogue for this scene. You're really just going through the motions, huh? Something tough's going on with you. I can tell that sort of thing. And now, you still gotta go through your day. Still gotta talk, fight, do homework. I bet it all feels pointless, don't it? It's almost an insult that the Earth's still turning. But don't give up, even if you gotta do those motions. Trying to find something, anything in them, that means a little something. You hear? The sugar is added, and same as the main route, we have the choice of whether or not to drink it. First, choosing not to drink on a normal route. Well, if tea's not your fancy, how about shine? How about an apple? You heard something being placed in front of you. Chris, here, I'll help. Here, I'm holding it in front of your teeth lurched forward to bite the apple. A sweet sensation spread through your mouth. That's right, just take a bite, Chris. Each time you felt a new piece of the apple, your teeth would bite it. Until nothing was left but the core. Huh, when did the old man leave?